because this wasn't an epic moment, because we all knew this was coming. You didn't really get anybody. You didn't get the wrestling fans. Stop talking and walking around like that. Oh, we got them. No, you didn't get us, bro. We all could see this coming a mile away because you didn't take the extra steps necessary to really make this story look real.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. My name is Nick Nightmare, and we're talking about SummerSlam. I was there live at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey for what ended up being a very mediocre first night of an unnecessarily two-night SummerSlam event. I say this because nothing on the night, with the exception of the main event, felt special at all. I felt like I was just at an average WWE show. Not that I didn't enjoy myself. My daughter and I had a great time. Being part of the show is always way better than sitting at home watching on your couch. You know, you get involved, you get to do all the sing-alongs, you get to yeet. We did all that stuff and we had a really great time. And if you're a professional wrestling fan, that main event really made you happy. With the exception of the cash-in, if you're a CM Punk fan. CM Punk fans last night were screwed in a big way. And a lot of people left that place very unhappy. A lot of people very upset, naturally. But as a wrestling fan and somebody who respects the craft, that loves long-term booking and an overarching story, you love to see something like this. Because when the smoke cleared and the dust settled and Seth Rollins cashed in that Money in the Bank briefcase, it was a pretty big moment. And was it the right call? Absolutely it was. If you appreciate long-term storytelling. Because it all rhymes. It's poetry, right? CM Punk loses in the same manner as he screwed Drew McIntyre. He was the champion for barely 5 minutes. Seth Rollins, since CM Punk has returned, has made it his mission to ruin his life. He promised that if he had a breath left in his body, he was not going to let CM Punk be the WWE champion, or the World Heavyweight Champion, as it may be. So it all checks out. It all works out really well. But here's the problem with it. The problem with it was that it was predictable as fuck. And there's nobody to blame for that except the people right at the top. Everybody involved in this thing had a great idea. All right? You pull off a phony injury idea. Never really done, right? You don't see it that often. Great idea. Poor execution. While I did enjoy the way Seth Rollins went about revealing that he was not injured on this show, he really messed with the CM Punk fans, because just for a minute he came out, he teased he was going to cash in the Money in the Bank, then he turns away and starts going to the back, and we all kind of in the crowd were like, oh, okay, he's not doing it tonight, he's walking in the back. Then he throws those damn crutches down and the whole place went berserk. Went absolutely bananas. It was a great way to do that. But the build-up for it. Any wrestling fan with at least this much knowledge, every single podcaster on this platform knew immediately that this was some kind of work. And WWE did nothing really to dispel that. Sure, there was video of Rollins on crutches, Becky was posting stuff, they were making announcements, but if you're gonna do this, fucking do it. Go all out. Why was there not a fake medical report? Right? Why didn't you film something with Dr. Andrews set up a fucking room to look like a hospital, put Seth in a hospital bed, show him all laid up. Really, really sell the angle. Really do some performance stuff. Really make some interesting TV and really, really throw everybody off. The minute there was no official medical diagnosis and Seth Rollins is walking around going, oh, well, they can't take an MRI because it's too swollen, we're still not sure, and whatever. And then WWE does absolutely nothing to make it seem like Seth isn't going away because they didn't even care about the Money in the Bank. They're like, he's got a whole year, he'll just hold it until he gets back. If somebody was legitimately injured, I don't know that that's the way they would have went about things. They could have at least had Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis talking about, oh, well, what are we going to do with the Money in the Bank? Seth is gone. Maybe we should have a match at SummerSlam. Maybe we should do this. You don't have to pay it off, but you're definitely throwing red herrings out there. And you would have made this moment epic. Because this wasn't an epic moment, because we all knew this was coming. You didn't really get anybody. You didn't get the wrestling fans. Stop talking and walking around like that. Oh, we got him. No, you didn't get us, bro. We all could see this coming a mile away because you didn't take the extra steps necessary to really make this story look real. You didn't leak phony reports to Meltzer or any other news outlets. You could have really went in. You could have really dug in on the fans. Put out a phony x-ray. You could make anything nowadays. I feel like they dropped the ball only in that aspect. And we all seen this coming. Especially when Punk's in there. He's crying. He's not leaving. He's standing there. And then the music hits. And he just, like run, bro, run. Obviously, that's not part of the story that they're trying to tell. Seth Rollins ends up the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We all knew this was coming. Wasn't all that shocking. Was it a good finish to what was an otherwise average night? Sure. But it would have been made better if you just would have taken a couple of extra steps to really tell a story and to really swerve the fans. This was predictable as fuck. And that's why I'm not seeing it the way most everybody else is. Oh, the ruse of the century. Fuck out of here. It's not a ruse if everybody's seen it coming. You didn't fool anybody. Notwithstanding, it was a pretty wild moment. And being in the crowd, seeing and being one of the people to go from, like, I got lost in the moment because even though I knew it was coming, CM Punk wins that title from Gunther, we went ballistic. We were all so happy for him. And then it went on and on and on, and you started to feel like he wasn't going to cash in. And then that goddamn music hit, and oh my god. And then the whole way out of the arena, we had to listen to these morons with the whoa, and it was driving my daughter nuts, it was driving me nuts. Oh my god. But as far as a SummerSlam moment, that's the only one we really had. Because the rest of the show, like I said, was just a show. It was just a show. It was no different than a Raw. The show kicked off with the tag team match. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso getting the crowd hyped, doing the yeet, doing the whole nine, versus the Bronze, Seth's new little minions. But I feel like they spent more time on the entrances and doing everything than there was actual match time. Decent match, got the crowd hot, got everything going. Again, predictable. You think Roman Reigns is going to come back to SummerSlam and not win this match with his cousin? I don't know where this story's going. Are they going to reunite the bloodline? I don't really care at this point. What are they going to do? We're going to have a good guy version of the bloodline to go against maybe Seth and his goons? And then where does that leave Punk? I don't know. There's two different shows. And it's a very confusing situation right now. I feel like WWE maybe needs to do a shake-up or a draft or something because everything's very jumbled and confused. But the first tag match was fun. It was a great way to kick off the show. But did it feel special? No. Did it feel different than anything else on the card? No. It was just your standard tag match. They had the barricade breaking spot, which is now happening on every single show that we see. I'm not trying to rag on it. I'm just saying the way it was, the way it felt. You sat there and it didn't feel like SummerSlam. Another thing, before we go further into the card, was that this arena was not sold out. And it actually was very depressing to me. I was sitting in the crowd and I'm looking out, and the bowl of the MetLife Stadium is only about 2/3 full. Maybe even less. When we first got there, it looked like it was barely half full. There were so many blacked out sections, and I got pictures and photos to back it up. I was there for WrestleMania 35. And that place was packed to the gills all the way around, with the exception of that one small section behind the stage with the obscured viewing. This place was not sold out. It was not 80,000 people. There may be 50,000 max. I don't know. And whose fault is that? That's the fault of the WWE booking going down. The fault of the WWE presentation becoming too corporate and too sanitized. If they don't think the logos in the mat have something to do with it, they're crazy, because it does. There's a lot of fans that are starting to turn against it because they just are starting to feel like WWE is becoming like Disney. You know, it's just sanitized corporate shit. Every match has the same beats, the same moves. Nothing feels special anymore. Everything just feels the same, with the exception of a few odd moments here and there, like the cash-in. I just wanted to throw that out there. There was not as many people at some stuff. Maybe that's because it was 2 nights. Doesn't need to be 2 nights. Really doesn't. WrestleMania doesn't need to be. But I understand it in that aspect because it's WrestleMania. It's the one time of the year that you can have a show big enough to blow up 2 nights. To have 2 big cards. SummerSlam? Please don't do this again. I can ask all I want, but this is the future now. This is what they're going to do until people stop going to the shows. And they're saying that, you know, WWE's not going to change until people stop showing up. And I'm here to tell you that from what I saw at SummerSlam, people are starting to not show up. Is it going to affect ticket prices? Is it going to affect show quality? Only time will tell. After that tag match, excuse me for the tangent there, we went to the next tag match because there was a bunch of tag matches tonight. I guess they didn't want to put any tag matches on night 2 solely because we're getting the TLC match and they wanted to do that one tag match on the night and that's it. I understand the logic, but having everything, you know, booked the way they did, the way they put these cards together, it just felt kind of weird because there was too many tag matches tonight and it's just kind of boring. Like everything felt the same. It's just weird. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss win the women's tag team championships from Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. I don't really care all that much about anything. The only interesting thing that's going to come out of this whole thing is what's going to happen when Liv comes back. Because now Roxanne Perez has cost the Judgment Day their titles. I know Raquel was in the match as well, but Roxanne's the one that ate the pin. Liv's already not happy with her being around. It's going to be interesting to see what happens following this after the return of Liv Morgan. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss's pairing is something that grates on my nerves with no end. My disdain for the character of Charlotte Flair has not waned. It has not softened all that much just because she's paired with one of my favorite females. Doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I've gone through the mismatched tag team partner thing before. Team Hell No and things like that. Opposites attract type deal. But I don't get this. I don't enjoy the story. I don't see where it's going. Charlotte's acting is at best, so it's just not doing it for me. I feel like this is a waste of Alexa Bliss. Makes sense for them to win. I mean, they're both multiple time champions, and they could add this now, I guess, to their resume. What is this story going forward? I don't really know, and I don't really care. Match number 3 was a very disappointing match. Sami Zayn defeats Karrion Kross. Why did Sami Zayn win this match, if not for the simple fact that Karrion Kross is probably leaving? There's been rumors of it for the last 6 months. He dropped that awesome pipe bomb type of promo online after the show a couple of months ago. And where has it really gone? He's gotten a little bit more TV time. You hear the crowd reaction behind him. But his contract is expiring. If he was planning on leaving, why give Sami the win here? Sami Zayn did not need to win this match. Karrion Kross needed to win this match. At least if he's staying around. What are they going to do? Now he's got to go in the middle of the ring and tell Sami that he was wrong. And then what's going to happen? Then he's just going to leave? Are they even going to pay that off? Or is Kross just not going to be on Raw? He's just going to go away now. It certainly did seem that way. It certainly did seem that way. None of these matches were really given any time to breathe. The pacing of this show is the second biggest issue I have with this show. It flew by. Now, on the one hand, you would think that would be great because you would get out early, you think you get home early. But when you take an Uber to the stadium, that definitely does not happen. Because when you try to get home from MetLife Stadium back to New York City in an Uber was a whole ordeal last night. I digress. That's another story for another day. Uber, you suck, by the way. But, notwithstanding, the pacing of the show was going by like this. Every match was over before it basically began, with the exception of the main event, which should be the case. I mean, the main event should be the longest match of the night, but these other matches were given zero time to evolve. This match was one of them. Sami won this match so quickly that it almost is inevitable that Kross seems like he's on his way out. The same could be said for the Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill felt like they spent more time doing their entrances than they were given time to wrestle. I have no idea why they didn't give these girls at least an extra 5 minutes. If they are not capable of pulling off a 15-minute championship match on one of the biggest stages that WWE has, then neither one of these girls should be the world champion. No reason why this match couldn't have been 15, 20 minutes. Jade is a great athlete. She definitely needs a little bit more seasoning, man. There's just something slightly off about her timing. I don't know if it's maybe just her chemistry with Tiffany, because she seems to work better with certain other individuals. Did Jade Cargill need to win this match? I don't think so. I don't think so. If you listened to this show and you heard what I said back after the Queen of the Ring, I don't think she needed to win the Queen of the Ring to get this opportunity, because I didn't think she was ready. And obviously, given how much time this match was allotted and how this match went down, I believe the WWE realized, yeah, maybe we're not ready. Maybe it would have been a better idea to let Asuka win the Queen of the Ring upon her return and face Io Sky one-on-one at SummerSlam for the Women's Championship. That would have been special. That would have been a match. This almost came off like a squash. It was over in less than 10 minutes. Maybe even 5. I don't know. I wasn't keeping time. But this match felt super short. I couldn't even believe it when it was over. Tiffany Stratton remains our WWE Women's Champion. Where does Jade go from here? I don't know. Maybe she gets put into the position that I suggested. Throw her in the mid-card, give her a few mid-card title runs. Keep her out of the tag division. Let her get her solo career going. Build her up over the year. Get her that feud with Bianca. Maybe turn her heel, since the babyface thing doesn't seem to be working and the crowd seems to be turning against her. And I don't know if it's because they love Tiffany so much or it's because they genuinely dislike Jade. But it's definitely something to consider going forward. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul defeated Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. Not what I expected the outcome of this match to be. I don't care at all about anything that has to do with Logan Paul. I can respect the fact that he's gotten his body in tremendous shape. Props to him for that. He is getting better in the ring with every outing, and I give him that. You cannot take that away from him. You have to respect the guy's hustle and respect how he's changed his body and how he seemingly is taking this industry seriously and wants to move forward with it. I just can't get behind Logan Paul. I can't. The wrestling fan in me will not allow it. Maybe in another 5 years, after he's put in a lot of time and or whatever, but right now, Logan Paul comes on the screen, I want to turn off my TV. I don't know how else to describe it to you. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. This match was boring to me. I wanted to see more Drew and Randy than anything else. I think it should have just been a singles match. There was no need to bring in Jelly Roll because Travis Scott flaked out. We don't need celebrities in matches at SummerSlam. Or ever. Not everybody's going to be a Bad Bunny. Right? You're not going to get lucky every time. And Jelly Roll tried his best. I guess he did, he didn't embarrass himself and he didn't screw up. And he took a hell of a spot when Logan Paul put him through a table on the outside. Respect. But I didn't care. The match just meant nothing. There were no stakes. There was nothing to it. And now we go forward. Jelly Roll's going to go away. And we're going to have Drew versus Randy now, I guess? I don't know. But Drew or Damien, I don't know. There's a lot going on. And then, as we talked about before, the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther took on CM Punk in the main event of Night 1. Great match. Oh boy. I can't say enough good things about this match. This was a professional wrestling match from start to finish. Absolutely beautiful. Two warriors going out there beating each other's ass until they could barely stand up. Both of these men bruised, battered, and beat each other to no end. We don't see blood very often in the WWE, but we saw a lot of blood tonight from the head of the World Heavyweight Champion. A brutal back and forth battle. The only match on the night that felt worthy of being on any type of a PLE. And then the crowning moment. CM Punk pinning Gunther, which was done in such a tremendous fashion. They made Gunther look fantastic, even in defeat. It took 2 GTSs. But the first one didn't even take him off his feet. Made Gunther look like a beast. It was friggin' amazing. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, oh my God, he's still standing. And then he picked him up and hit him with the second one. We all counted 3 in unison and freaked out. And the MetLife Stadium was happy. And the longer the celebration went, the more I started to fear the inevitable, the predictable, what we all knew was already going to happen. Another thing that gave it away was Punk got no pyro. The guy just won the championship. He got no pyro. Pyro went off after Seth cashed in the Money in the Bank. Again, great moment for wrestling fans. Terrible moment for us Punk fans. Great way to end the first night. Getting ready now to prepare myself for night 2. Because I'm going back to my seat at the MetLife to go through this again. Hopefully tonight will not be as fast-paced and we'll have some great singles matchups tonight. Tonight's almost all singles matchups with the exception of the TLC and the triple threat, which is still technically a singles match. There's only 3 people in it, but whatever. Hopefully tonight comes off better than last night. It just felt mediocre more than anything else. We went to Saturday night's main event this year. We went to Monday Night Raw this year. We were at Slammiversary. Slammiversary almost had more of a special feel to it than night 1 of SummerSlam. But that's how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content here today. And we'll see you again here tomorrow for a review of night 2, if I can wake my body up and recover from this weekend ordeal, and if Uber doesn't screw me over again on my ride home tonight. But that's all I got. My name is Nick Nightmare. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV, and we will see you next time.